not going to take yourself seriously. You're going to look at yourself and think, who am I? Who am I to want financial freedom? Who am I to deserve this? Hi everyone, welcome back to the My Best Self podcast. So for today's episode, we're going to be getting into how to level up financially using psychology secrets. These are two things that I love, psychology and making money. We're going to get into it. And honestly, let me just say, as a woman, being financially independent is amazing. It feels amazing. I'm sure it feels amazing as a man too. But being able to be independent in this world as a woman, and especially specifically financially, it gives you an amazing freedom, amazing peace of mind. And that is something that I want every single woman watching to achieve. The men watching too, you guys are included as well. But you know, I had to just include that for the girls. But there's a huge gap between wanting to achieve wealth and actually taking the steps to build it. I'm gonna walk you through the real reason why so many of us stay stuck in dream mode and never take action. And spoiler alert, it's all in your mind, and these mental blocks are like invisible chains that stop you from living your dream life. But if we understand it, we can get in front of it and we can fix it. So let's get into it. The first roadblock, let's talk about the fear of failure. A lot of people see failure as this big, scary thing. They see it as a means to an end. But if you reframe the way that you view failure, you can actually desensitize yourself to it and you can build resilience towards it. Because listen, what is the worst that can happen? That's the way that I see it. The way that I see it, and whenever I actually am scared of something and I'm actually feeling like I'm scared that this is not going to go as planned, I literally picture things not going as planned. And this kind of goes against everything that I know about, like, let's say manifestation and visualizing what you want to happen coming true. But the thing is that when you allow yourself to just for a second picture whatever you're scared of just coming true, it kind of makes that fear a lot smaller. When I picture myself failing, it makes it so that I'm just like, oh, that's it? Okay. It didn't work out, and then life moves on, life continues. When I started to see failure in that way, it made me a lot stronger. I'm not saying you have to picture yourself failing, but that did help me. And I'm not saying to do that all the time, right? Because then you're gonna have just this vision in your mind of you failing. No, but I always think, like, what is the worst that can happen? Really, what is the worst? Because honestly, the worst case scenario usually is not even that bad. And because fear is so prevalent and it can really stop people from chasing after their dreams, I want you to also reframe it in this way. Instead of seeing fear as something where you're completely scared and terrified of it, see fear as an invitation. So whenever you feel that feeling creeping up, that fear creeping up, ask yourself, what does this mean about what I'm capable of? And what I mean by that is, whenever fear comes up, it's usually when we're going through a breakthrough moment or we're making a decision where we're stepping outside of our comfort zone. When you're at that moment, when it's getting scary, that's how you know it's time to go. So instead of thinking, I'm afraid because I'm going to fail, think of it as in, I'm afraid because this matters and I'm ready to expand in this area. That mindset will literally change the game for you. And I want you to practice this. This is like basically rejection therapy. Do it, but think of it as a failure therapy. Actively start to put yourself in little situations where you could fail. For example, asking an employee for a discount at the store, asking for your coffee for free, asking someone to do something for you. Start to put yourself in those situations where you're risking failure, and you're going to see failure is not as scary as it seems. Because you know what? If you do get rejected, if you do fail, at the end of the day, you can pick yourself back up and try something new. And actually, I always think about this lyric from Russ. It's like, I fall forwards, I don't ever fail. Because it's true. Whatever you failed at, quote unquote, is actually something that taught you a new skill. It taught you a new lesson. And if it didn't teach you anything else, it taught you resilience and it taught you resistance to failure. Because now that you failed, you're not going to be as scared anymore to try something else and possibly fail at that too. So you know what? Failure, it's not that scary after all. Something else that stops people from following their dreams is being a perfectionist, expecting everything to be perfect, expecting to have the perfect blueprint, to have everything at the perfect timing in order to start. The thing is, it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to wake up one day and be like, okay, today's the day. Finally, it's the day that I'm going to start living my dreams. You decide that every single day, because the same way that you feel today, the way that you feel I'm not sure if today's the day. I'm not sure if I want to start anything right now. I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I need more time. I need to know more. I need this. You're always going to feel that way. Always. If you're feeling this way right now, think about 3 months back. I'm sure you felt the same way. But you know what? If you would have started that day, you would be so much further ahead. As you start to reach for your dreams, as you start to take those steps, it's like you don't have to, I think people forget, you don't have to automatically just jump. You don't have to go from Earth into the moon. In actuality, you start by doing the first thing. You start by taking the first step, and then tomorrow you're going to take another step, and then the next day another step, and slowly you're going to build the skills that you need to build over time. Slowly you're going to understand what you're doing and learn whatever business or whatever it is that you're doing. But if you don't start right now because the circumstances aren't perfect, you're never going to start. And there's something that always stands out to me, and I always think about this as well. Really intelligent people don't always get the furthest in life. They don't always achieve the biggest milestones because those are also the people that overthink and that overanalyze things and that know too much. When you have a goal and you know way too much about this, and when you just see this huge overwhelming mountain of possibilities and of things that can go wrong, it can literally paralyze you. It makes you actually not be able to take action at all. So that's why I always say it's better to take the first step, whether it's messy, whether you don't really know what you're doing, but take the first step, because if you don't do anything, then you don't do nothing at all. Now let's talk about comfort zone. So this holds us back a lot, but I want to give you a new perspective. Think of your comfort zone as a bubble and think of it as something that slowly expands as you take on new challenges and do things that you normally would have been afraid of. So every time you do something uncomfortable, whether it's taking on a new responsibility, whether it's learning an intimidating skill, but yeah, whatever it is that you maybe find a little bit difficult, think of that as every time you do it, you're slowly expanding your bubble of what you're comfortable with. So I want you to try the 1% rule. Every single day, do something that makes you 1% uncomfortable. That is going to expand your comfort zone just by 1%. Let's say you want to work on your social skills and talking to people. Literally talking to one stranger a day. That could be your 1%. And that can be something that's going to expand your comfort zone. Before you know it, the things that you were once scared of are going to feel like second nature, and your comfort zone will have grown to support your goals. So this psychological block hits close to home, and it is self-belief. If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to take yourself seriously. You're going to look at yourself and think, who am I? Who am I to want financial freedom? Who am I to deserve this? The truth is, you are more powerful than you think. And I promise you, you are not in the passenger seat of your life. You are in the driver's seat. You are in the driver's seat. And if you decide today you want something, you can 100% get there. And I say that as someone coming from experience. You don't have to be special. I don't think that I'm special. I think that I just always believed in myself. And I believed in myself so much to the point where nobody else could tell me anything different. And that is the reason that I have gotten far in my life. That is the reason anybody who gets far in their life gets far in their life, because of their unwavering self-belief. So if you can't look at yourself in the face and know that you deserve this, you have to work on your self-belief. And how do you get to that point? Start to work on your confidence. And what I mean by confidence, you know where confidence comes from? Confidence comes from self-trust and knowing that you're going to do the things you said you were going to do. So this is a muscle that you can literally build. Start it today. Start it by setting a small goal for yourself that you know that you can achieve, and then achieving it. For example, if you wanted to start going to the gym, tell yourself, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to wake up at this time and I'm going to go, and then go and do it. And the more that you do that, the more that you see that you can trust and rely on yourself, then you're going to understand, oh, I can have anything that I want because I set down the conditions for what I want with my actions. Another way you can do this, let's say you want to save a certain amount of money every single month, set that amount and then do it. And then when you do it, celebrate it. Celebrate yourself, feel good about it, and then you're going to slowly start to build that muscle. Like I said, it's a muscle that builds over time, but self-belief is so incredibly important. This is something that if you don't have it, please work on this. And the last psychological block, and this one is a sneaky one, it is the comfort of a dream. What do I mean by that? It's comfortable to have big dreams and to just see them as a distant future and just think, one day. That brings you comfort. That brings you safety. Knowing one day you'll achieve this dream, But for now, you don't have to even think about it. You feel comfortable and safe there because you know that you have a dream at least, but you're not actually gonna work towards it. You're just gonna have it sitting in the back of your mind. It's just gonna be a possibility for the future. But the future is coming. The future starts today. So how do you break out of the dream mode? One tool that you can use is implementation intention, which is not only setting a goal, but actually making a plan for how, when, and where you're going to act on it. So I'm gonna give you an example. Instead of saying something like, I want to start investing, you're gonna say, I want to start investing. So every first of the month, I'm going to research one new investment option for 15 minutes. That's an example of an implementation intention. You're setting something clear for yourself so you know exactly what you have to do. Now it's just up to you to follow through. Now you know how you can use this psychology of the things that are holding you back and actually move forward. So I want to challenge you all this week to use one of the tips that I shared today, whether that's stretching your comfort zone or maybe it's actually setting down a real plan. Whatever it is, I want you to take those steps because even listening to this video and watching this video, this is amazing. This is great for you. But now that you have, now it's time to take action. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Please let me know in the comments what you thought. Please rate the podcast if you're able to. Like, comment, share, subscribe. All of that helps me out so much. Yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Thank you so much for listening. And I will see you in next week's episode at 10 a.m. PST.